Okay, in this video we're just going to talk about the screen on the Panasonic GH6, and this is just quite a quick video that sort of came about because somebody was saying to me that the EVF wasn't working properly, sort of switching between the viewfinder and the back screen. So we covered this in another video which I'll link to up in the corner, but essentially what we talked about was getting the switching through the modes where we've got the sensor switching to the eyepiece and back, and we can cycle through the modes. So if we just want the screen, we can do that, or if we just want the eyepiece, we can do that, or if we want to cycle, that's fine as well. We can do either. It's just a case of we just pick the one that's right for whatever we're doing. And somebody was saying to me that the switching wasn't actually working on their camera, and the reason for that is because the screen obviously it's great. The screen on this, it's one of the best screens I've used, to be honest, on the camera, because the old one was brilliant. It's still articulated like on the GH5, and that's a really good design. But the problem was sometimes you'd get, if you had the camera, I mean, not even rigged out, if you just had like a mic plugged in, maybe some headphones, and certainly if you had a HDMI port plugged in, you'd basically be limited on how the screen moved, and sometimes it would get trapped in certain positions, and it just wasn't really practical. And for if you wanted to tilt it upwards, I used to find this particularly irritating for gimbal work. You'd have to pull it out and essentially have it like that, so it's almost like an old DV cam kind of style, which is fine, you know. It's like it's good that the screen articulates like that anyway. It's really useful. But and obviously you can protect the screen as well by covering it that way. But what they've offered us now is this kind of pull out, so you can actually pull the screen out to like a 28-degree viewing angle, which is really nice. And then if you do it again, you get a 50-degree viewing angle. So you can see obviously that's quite far out from the camera now where that's set out to. And the issue the person was having was essentially that what happens is when you pull this screen out to this new kind of tilting direction, the sensor actually doesn't work. It is part of the camera, it's the way it's designed. So if we're at 50, it doesn't work. If we're at the 28 degrees, so the first setting, doesn't work. Push it in, it's back to how it should be. You can probably just about see that the eyepiece is lighting up there. So it's just one thing to bear in mind, you know, if you've got it out like that, this isn't actually going to work. So, you know, as you look into the eyepiece, you're just going to have to shut it back down, and then if you want it back, just pull it back up again. But yeah, it's it's a very minor thing, just something to keep in mind. But yeah, it's really nice. I suppose another thing actually, when you're at the full 50 tilt, you're not going to get the screen out beyond the eyepiece. Even if you took the cover off there, you're not going to get it. Oh, actually, maybe you probably just could get it out, but you're not going to do that. Yeah, essentially you need it at that setting. But if you're at the first setting, so you know, the first click, you can actually still pull the screen out, and that's really nice. That's one of the things that you know, makes it great. If you've got wires and things in there, you have it at that first tilt setting, you can pull the screen up, and you can kind of see on this side, we're actually, even if I twist it, we're nowhere near those ports, look. So that's just perfect, really. You know, you can angle the screen however you want, and you're not going to interfere with all the ports and things. So yeah, it was just a quick one, really, just to kind of answer that question for somebody, and yeah, just run through, you know, how that screen works. But yeah, for me, it's been this new kind of tilting part of the screen has been brilliant, especially for gimbal work, because if I go kind of underslung on a gimbal, I used to really hate having to pull the screen out, and you know, quite often it would unbalance the gimbal, and then I'd have to recalibrate it all. And I quite often find if I'm just using this tilt setting, I often don't have to rebalance it, so it's been quite good, really. I've enjoyed using the new tilting part of this screen. So yeah, hopefully you found that video helpful. If you have, give the video a like. If you want to see more about the Panasonic GH6, then check out the playlist on this channel, and please subscribe.